Hi, Chuck Hawley from West Marine with a quick buyer's guide on setting up an anchor and rode system for your boat. Many customers come into our stores all the time and say, I've just bought a new boat, or I'd like to upgrade my anchor system. How do I size the components? Well, one of the best places to find out this information is in the West Marine annual catalog. The new annual catalog has a lot of advisors both on anchoring, on chain, nylon rode, windlasses, whatever you want. It's in the annual catalog. But let's say that you just wander in and you've got a new 28 or 30 foot boat, power or sail, and you say, I'd like to set up an appropriate anchoring system. Well, the first thing we've got to do is find an anchor that's right for you. Now, there's a wide variety of anchors and a lot of debate as to which one's the best one. So for this demo, we're going to be talking about the West Marine 13-pound traditional anchor. Very popular anchor, great reputation, and on the label it says that it's good for boats up to 32 feet, so we're within the manufacturer's recommendations. The next step is to pick the correct anchor line for your boat. On all of our boxes of West Marine's premium 3-strand anchor line, we've got a chart which relates the length of your vessel to the diameter of the anchor line. So in our case, we've got, say, a relatively heavy 30-footer. We can run our fingers down to find out that for a 30-footer, I should be using half-inch anchor line, and that's what's inside this box. The second question is, how deep is the water in which I want to anchor? And the general rule of thumb is, depending on the water depth in your area, you want 7 times as much anchor line. So in California, in areas that have quite deep water, 200 or 250 foot anchor lines are very common. On the East Coast or in inland waters where you have shallower water, maybe 100 or 150 feet of line is common. In this case, we've chosen 150 feet of anchor line. The third question is, what size chain do I use with my anchor line? Well, the general rule of thumb is that for half-inch anchor line, you use half the size in chain. So in this case, I've got 1/4-inch chain. And chain, if you don't know, is measured by measuring across the link, across the wire diameter. So this is 1/4-inch proof coil chain, which is an ideal match for half-inch nylon line. How long do I need for my chain? Well, the general rule of thumb has been a half a boat length to a boat length of chain. For years and years and years, people have been recommending a boat length of chain, and it's certainly good. Chain helps anchors work better. In this case, we've selected 20 feet of 1/4-inch proof coil chain. The final question you've got to answer is, what size shackles do I use to tie all the components together? In this case, we're using 1/4-inch chain, so we use the next size up in shackle. Not so much for the strength, because it's just a physically bigger shackle, and it's a little easier to get over splices and over the end of the shank of the anchor. So now let's assemble the whole system together. Start by taking one end of the chain, unscrewing the shackle. Now, the one thing about shackles is they'd like to come undone. So there are a couple of ways to secure this. The first is use a pliers or a crescent wrench and tighten down the shackle pin very tightly. And the second thing is use the hole in the end of the shackle and seize the shackle pin to the shackle with a little seizing wire, stainless steel or Monel wire, so that it won't come undone accidentally. Once the chain's in place, we can attach the other end of the chain to the anchor line. The anchor lines come with a nice pre-spliced eye. Shackle barely fits over the eye, which is one of the reasons we went to a bigger shackle. Pin goes through the last link of chain. We'll screw this in, put our wrench on it, tighten it up securely, and then seize the pin. And you're done. You've got an anchor, 20 feet of chain, and 150 feet of line, all in one contiguous package that'll meet your requirements. If you need more information on anchor lines and roads and anchors, drop by any West Marine store across the country or see us online at westmarine.com.